Hey guys, King of Charmanders here. Alright, so we're going to look at the Ultra Premier Cup. If you don't remember, Ultra Premier does not allow Mythicals and Legendaries. So Ultra Premier takes out those really oppressive mons like Melmetal, the Lugnut, Melmetal, Articuno, since everyone has a Hurricane 1 now because it came out in raids recently. Registeel going Reggie, but Registeel ain't going Reggie in the Premier Cup. And just a whole bunch of other if you hate big space duck Cresselia, guess what? You don't have to worry about it in the Premier Cup. And it's gonna run from Monday, December 14th to December 28th. So that's actually in a few days. So it's gonna come quick. So make sure you decide now on your Ultra League and your Premier Cup team. It's going to be really interesting just how it plays out for. Not really. I would see more of the future seasons than this season. Anyway, let's go over if there's any changes since like the last season from Season 6 into the rankings. Alright, so here's the PV Poke rankings for the Premier Cup. For Ultra League, as you see here, it's overly dominated by XL level 50 Pokemon. These are actual like facts, by the way. So like I'm gonna make analyst videos for each and every level 50 mon just to give you a deep dive into it, because I think it's really worth looking into each and every one because they're so powerful in their own right and they cover a lot of different things at level 50. As you see here, it's dominated by G-Fisk, Flyers, Obama's Shadow XL Obama is a monster in this cup. As you see here, extremely powerful. Now, it's, as you see here, apps outside of that, for regular Pokemon, which you can expect now, it looks like Machamp, Swampert, and Magnezone do take cake. So there's a lot of, so as far as regular mons, it's just XL Pokemon are so powerful. Look at this Galvantula, Abomasnow, Skarmory. Those are they're really powerful picks, but it's good reason why, because if you really flip up, and you know how dominant they are in Great League, they're very dominant there. Bring in the Ultra League, give them that extra bulk, and here's what happens. They just get such an insane boost. As you see, other picks like Machamp. For the current meta, the meta right now is around Machamp, Swampert. Magnezone's always a good pick. The one thing that you really have to like look out for is probably Sirfetch'd. Sirfetch'd is actually a monster in Ultra Premier. It does very, very well in this meta. So I'm not going to be surprised if because from last season, Sirfetch'd came out around Master Premier. So you couldn't use Sirfetch'd for Ultra Premier. Now you can. So I think Sirfetch'd is one of those Pokemon that's going to come out here and kind of surprise some people just because it's actually pretty dang oppressive. Because even though, as you see here, its ratings, unless you're facing Gallade or a Charmer, you have really strong matchups, and your losing matchups aren't super like horrifying. As you see here, you're still able to do a huge amount of damage to Pokemon even though you have losing matchups, and your winning matchups are pretty huge. Like they're all or above like 600, which is pretty nuts. So Sirfetch'd for Ultra Premier is going to be monster. However, as you see here, these XL level 50 Pokemon are going to be extremely powerful. And I'm going to go over each and every specific position so that we can go over what you expect to see in Ultra Premier. Because it's going to be a little different. With Sirfetch'd in the mix, it's a little different because fighters are a little heavy. So if you thought Machamp was heavy, Sirfetch'd can be more heavy. As you see, as leads, Sirfetch'd and Machamp and Magnezone are actually the #1 leads, are near #1. Fighters are very powerful in this league because they put a lot of pressure, especially things like Sirfetch'd. As you see, Sirfetch'd is able to dominate a lot of mons, and Machamp, even Machamp as well, because that counter and cross-chop coverage is just really powerful. Magnezone takes the cake at #1 as the #1 lead, just because it's so strong. Not only is this thing going to force you to take shields, it also effectively has such a strong matchup against Gallade and Togekiss. So if you've seen Magnezone, you've probably seen plenty of Magnezone leads in the previous Ultra Premier seasons. Expect them to come back and be even more powerful. But when Galarian Stunfisk finally makes its miss, you can probably expect a lot of... You're going to see a lot of Pancakes running rampant. Pancakes and just so many other extra XL level 50 Pokemon. It's kind of concerning to me because once Season 7 comes around, if there's probably going to be a sizable amount of individuals that have grinded Pokemon to where they can actually have those level 50s out there. So not in Season 6, but Season 7, you might expect to see these flying around. So it's a little concerning. I'm going to go over it then when that meta comes around, but for now we're just going to focus on Season 6. Because like I said, well, yes, it's kind of the same. However, on Season 6, Sirfetch'd wasn't in this mix. So you might actually see some more Sirfetch'd. Sirfetch'd also beats Magnezone as the lead. So you do have... But you're still going to see Magnezone in the lead because, like I said, it's so powerful. You beat Galade, you also beat Togekiss in the lead. Very strong. And you can pivot out very easily. It's also it's also a fantastic closer. Now, this is the Shadow version, Shadow Electivire and Shadow Magnezone. However, regular Magnezone as a closer is also very powerful. As you see, it ranks at 15. So, Wild Charge users, definitely the strongest, very powerful as closers. Lucario is also very powerful as closer. Very underrated in my opinion because it's able to carry that close combat and Shadow Ball. So, it does have play here. Also, Venusaur is very prevalent as it was in the previous seasons. And it's still very, very powerful. So, you can expect to see things like Venusaur, etc. As far as switches go for Ultra Premier, Buffalante, if you have one, Buffalante is a really good safe switch. It does get, unfortunately, like, destroyed by, like, counter users, as you see here, and unfortunately, you do get walled by Driplim. However, overall, if you do get a positive matchup with it, it's extremely powerful. That's why it's #1 minus the XL. Also, things like Snorlax, etc. Snorlax, Magnezone is also a great safe switch, just because it's able to take shields, especially if your opponent doesn't have a hard counter to it. And as you see, a bunch of XL Pokemon do run rampant around in the Ultra Premier rankings. So, it's going to be very interesting because you're going to see a lot, like, with Sirfetch'd in the mix, and like I said, once extra large Pokemon start coming around, and those that have their Shadow Pokemon, you're going to start seeing a lot more like Shadow Snorlax, probably a lot more Shadow Swampert, etc. But once you have individuals finally start building those level 50 Pokemon, it's going to be the Wild Wild West, and Ultra Premier is going to really suck. But as of right now, it should be relatively okay, and we'll go over a little bit of team building so that you'll see like what can be good, what can't be good. And like I said, pretty much somewhat the same, but like I said, Sirfetch'd wasn't in this meta, so... And because Sirfetch'd is in this meta, it changes a little bit. So you'll see when we do team build. All right. So for building teams, for Ultra Premier, it's very well. There's a lot of choices. If you were comfortable with something before, you can definitely use it again. Again, we mentioned Magnezone. You saw a lot of Magnezones. Magnezone itself is very glassy. However, it does force shields. If you have a Magnezone, let's see what kind of safe switch can we put in here. And Gallade's actually a really good safe switch. So Gallade, Crustle, those are great safe switches. Gallade, if you put that in there, Gallade's a great switch. I like using Gallade for a switch. I also use Amok, so that's just me. Like, I loved using Amok for a safe switch back in the day. As you see here, they're not super bulky together. However, as you see, you're going to take a lot of shields, and Gallade will set you up so that you can close out with your Magnezone. And now Sirfetch'd, as you see here, Sirfetch'd for alternatives, as you see, Sirfetch'd is in the mix. You see right here. Honchkrow, Machamp, Charizard, etc. Chestnut's an interesting one, actually. Chestnut's really interesting because you do beat Swampert. Also, in the future, you also beat G-Fisk. The big problem with Chestnut is it's vulnerable to fusion users and conversion, invulnerable to Charmers. So it's a little interesting. However, you do hardwall G-Fisk, which is the target of a lot of things. However, this is in the future. So, like I said, we put a triple team together here. Magnezone, Gallade, Swampert. That's an effective team. As you see here, you don't have a lot of bulk, but like it does have a lot of coverage, as you see here. So, like I said, what you used before might work. If you see a lot of popular picks here, Venusaur, Altaria isn't going to be readily available for level 50, but if you do have one, you power one up. Altaria is probably out of everyone that's level 50 on this list, Altaria, Abomasnow, Skarmory, these are 3 Pokemon that are probably going to be really likely to be level 50 in the next season. You'll probably see them very soon, so I'd just be prepared to, I'd be prepared for them later. definitely like consider. It's not to say that I think that like the current day meta can't beat the XL meta, but the XL meta is just really, really impressive. Again, I'm going to go over that when it happens. For now, we're not going to. As you see, you have Gallade, you have Magnezone, Swampert's also a really good pick. Venusaur's been very good. Venusaur is a really great pick as well, just because it does wall those Toxicroak fire. It does wall those, not really wall those counter users, but it does resist those counter users, and it also does heavy damage with Frenzy Plant. You get the mirror with Sludge Bomb, it hurts a lot. Your opponent is going to still take heavy damage with the Venusaur. Like a team I used to use before was Dragonite with Amok and Venusaur. Amok is still a fantastic switch in this meta. I like it as a safe switch very, very much, just because it's able to... It's very neutral, and there aren't many things other than Swampert that really threaten you. And even if you do get a Swampert thrown into you, Alolan can still do chip damage. As you see here, it was a pretty good team together. But you do have your alternatives. Obviously, as you see here, PvPoke is recommending fighters. Fighters are very good in this meta. Heracross, Sirfetch'd, Machamp. If you have a fighter in your team, or like Toxicroak, very, very good. Covers a lot. A thing that's kind of like a little like bad if you run Magnezone is, like I said, fighters, but you're still going to like zap fighters. If they don't have shields, fighters go down. So if a lot of people did use Togekiss, Charizard, etc., those are still great picks as well. As you see, you can run your team builder here and run it through. Like I said, Charizard's a great pick. Lapras is a great pick. Let me see if I could pull the data from PvPoke's train. Let's see. Let's see, other than the team builder, the training analysis should... Here you go. Here's the training battles analysis. Here's the top teams. And then, let's see, this is for... I believe this is Great League. So this is a lot. This is some great data, as you see right here, for top teams for PvPoke. This is, however, for the Great League, so it's going to update. But, like, you could expect to see this in the future to sample. As you see, team ratings are here as well, so you'll see those team ratings come out in the future. When Ultra Premier comes out, I'll do a more in-depth team for the top teams, so that you can look at it over here. But it's a very interesting future tool. I'll be using this tool for top teams later on once Ultra Premier actually comes out. So then I'll be using this tool, so then we'll analyze the teams just how it is. That way you have teams built already. Like I said, Team Builder is also a great tool as well. I use this tool all the time. I use this tool all the time just to see what kills what and what I'm weak to, so that I can make countermeasures, or I need to know what I have to do in order to win. Like I said, use what you're comfortable with for teams. Like I said, they're still what you used before. You could expect to see most of the same meta except for Sirfetch'd. If we put Sirfetch'd in here, Sirfetch'd is a beast. Sirfetch'd doesn't have a high... It doesn't have a hefty amount of bulk, but its coverage, it does have a good amount of... It's very consistent. And as you see, paired with just literally absolute... Like, if I pair it with Alolan Muck, as you see here, it has insane coverage. So, there's a lot of things you can do with Sirfetch'd, and I expect it to see out a lot. Like, I expect to see Sirfetch'd out a lot. If you do this, if you run this and you run Magnezone per se, let's say run Gallade actually. If you run Gallade and then double safe switch, this is one of the team strategies. You can run double safe switch. As you see here, not high amount of bulk, but then as you see, you take out, you have good answers against a lot of the meta, as you see here. As long as you keep Sirfetch'd away, you take out Gallade, etc. So if you have I will be doing more like in-depth like team building in the future. Like I analyze teams now, but like as far as like in-depth like analyzing other teams or suggestions, I'll do that some other time. But as you see, like I said, use what you were comfortable with last season. There shouldn't be minor changes other than Sirfetch'd being out, and then Season 7, that's when you can expect XL Pokemon to come and try to dominate the... Alright, here's a technical summary, guys. Again, just a few leads that might be good, few safe switches, etc. Like I said, few leads, fighter leads are always good. Magnezone, a lot of popular leads from before were also like Drifblim, Gallade was another thing I saw a lot. Charizard's really good, also Venusaur and Swampert. Those are some really common leads you might see again. Again, what really changes in the mix is Sirfetch'd in the mix. And because Sirfetch'd is in the mix now, you might see less Swamperts, but we'll see. As far as closers go, pretty much the same thing. Crustle might make its appearance again. Wild Charge users are deadly. And as you see here, we have Machamp, etc., Excavalier. Venusaur is a great closer as well. You also have Kingdra in here as a closer. Kingdra is also a really interesting pick. Able to debuff you, but at the same time, its Dragon Breaths do a ton of damage. And it's able to really give a lot of matchups some problems. As far as switches go, Safe Switch. Gallade's a great safe switch. Also, Buffalant, Snorlax, Magnezone, as you see here. And then Gallade and Crustle. Tangrowth is a fantastic safe switch as well. Vine with Broxide. When Goat comes out for Ultra Premier, it's going to look like it's going to basically be a version 2.0 Tangrowth when it comes out. And I can see when other Gen 6 start rolling out, it's probably going to shift the meta a little bit. But as you see, if you're comfortable, like I said, if you're comfortable with the team from before, use it now. The only real difference in this meta is going to be Sirfetch'd until further notice. Like I said, if we get more Kalos Pokemon that come out and we do get Goat in here, or like Goat's available, then you might see a lot of people using Goat because Goat's really good for Ultra Premier. Anyways, if you guys like this video, please like and subscribe. I know I didn't get too much into team building, but because there's like only like one major difference here, other than the fact that level 50 Pokemon are going to run Ultra Premier very hard, there's not much of a difference to analyze in meta. Meta will generally stay the same, but like I said, Sirfetch'd can give you a little bit of problems, might hold back those Swamperts. Hope you guys do great in your Go Battle League videos. You guys have a wonderful day, and I'll see you on the next video.